We're digging deeper tonight, looking into exactly what charges the people arrested for protesting in the district are now facing. What does the law say, and what are they being accused of doing? Here's investigative reporter Laura Geller.
We're digging into the arrest data, scouring information from MPD and DC court records. We're able to closely examine the arrests from this past weekend. Last night's information is still being processed. Here's what we know. There are 3 charges we see most: felony rioting, burglary, and curfew violation. According to the records, half of the 104 people arrested were charged with felony rioting, 33% were charged with burglary, and about 27% with curfew violation. Many people are facing more than one charge. Since felony rioting is the most common, we start with how DC Code defines it. It says rioting is public disturbance involving 5 or more people, which by tumultuous and violent conduct or threat thereof creates a grave danger of damage or injury to property or persons. DC police officers say that's what's been happening here. This document describes the chaos near Lafayette Square Park and the march through D.C. streets where police also made arrests. Officers say people began to throw materials into the street, blocking emergency vehicle responses, setting fires to at least 2 vehicles, trash cans, and dumpsters. This affidavit describes the looting at Mazza Gallery on Saturday night. Police arrested a number of people for Riot Act felony. We've shown you the video from Wisconsin Avenue. Here's what police say they found: a large crowd of rioters, approximately 200 in number. Officers write they witnessed the crowd try to break multiple windows and run away with merchandise. In terms of the consequence for this, these charges come with possible fines of $1,000 and up to 6 months in jail. It's important to note these arrests are still going through the court process. Many of the initial charges have been or will be knocked down to lesser crimes. And of course, no one has been convicted yet. Laura Geller, WUSA 9.